The thing just begun, and actually, I have a good idea as well. What I could do is that I could also put this live on Instagram.
Yeah.
I have a selfie stick, so let me just do this, and let me see if my selfie stick is high enough. All right, and we're gonna turn it here. And I think that should be a good, yeah, right there.
All right.
Oh, hold up. Just some problems with Instagram. It just acted crazy.
That's my mom. I don't know if you hear it.
So we could finally start. So
wait, hold on. Well, my mom's like. Dang. All right. If you're my mom, just ignore. All right. So we're on air.
All right. Let's start. So hello everyone. JulioCoolio here, and I'm joined by Rangermania tonight.
Otherwise known as Roberto Morales.
All right. So we decided to do this live stream because of some news that has been happening in the recent couple of days, but specifically it dropped today.
Okay. All right, and yeah, we're gonna be talking about a bunch of stuff. I'm sorry, I'm a little off topic because I'm not used to one of these live stream things. But if you want to talk a little bit more about it, we're gonna be talking about and stuff.
Yeah. So the first thing that I wanted to mention is the logo change for Power Rangers, because this has to go with everything else that comes afterward.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Do you have a? I'm sorry. It says off air on my screen, so I don't know if it's on right now.
Yeah, it says live on my screen.
All right, that's pretty weird. It says off air on mine. So yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, it says that it's live, and some people have already joined in on Instagram, so let me just shout them out a quick minute. Fire Kaiser 250 and LPM 0196. So hello there.
All right. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna be talking about the Saban Bronze. They basically did like a breakup thing with Band of America, so no longer. Sorry, my mom's calling me. Just a sec.
Yeah.
All right, sorry about that technical difficulties with my parents. Yeah. So as I was saying, we're gonna be talking about the Saban leaving Bandai, and yeah. So sorry, it's crazy. It's new. I'm new to this, so sorry.
Because yesterday, it's funny that Wednesday was Valentine's Day, because the news dropped that they left Bandai on Thursday, and then I posted on Snapchat where it's like the biggest breakup of 2018.
Yeah, it's crazy. And when did you find out about it?
Well, I found out about it, I want to say Thursday, but the Hasbro thing was today after school.
Yeah,
I was
I've been
coming
busy. You were saying? Sorry.
And then I just saw news and I'm like, what? They actually did it.
Yeah, it was crazy. I think I found out did the news drop on Thursday or Wednesday? Because I remember Because Wednesday was I don't want to mention this is horrible, but the Florida shooting would happen on Wednesday, so that was all on Twitter. I think it was Thursday that it dropped, and it
That event
was.
thing, we were actually all in robotics and robotics club
Mhm.
when that happened, and our teachers like walked safely because this just happened. But it was Thursday, I think, that the news dropped
Yeah.
about them leaving band.
I, I was on Twitter and I was scrolling and I was going through Twitter and I think I remember I'm having a brain fart because this is where like I usually think about all this stuff before I do the video, but if I remember correctly, I was going and I was just scrolling and I saw something about Bandai apparently not be like a press release type thing, if I remember correctly, because it did release like a press release and all I saw was we're leaving Bandai and as of April 2019. And yeah, so I was like, okay, like I didn't believe it at first, but then I kept seeing more people retweet about it, and eventually I'm like, oh, this is actually happening, like this is real, and it was mind blowing. So it took me a
I
minute, and yeah,
that I think one of the things that kind of foreshadowed this was I don't remember where it was. I think it was Toy Fair
mm-hmm.
that Bandai's area would be closed off to the public.
Yeah, I was like shocked by that too, because usually Bandai like does a lot of cool stuff for Toy Fair. I remember with Dino Charge, if I'm correct, when in 2015 when they did 20 Toy Fair 2015, I remember seeing all the Dino Drive figures and all that, and all the Sledge and the villain figures that they were doing, and then for them to
Yeah,
not
and
do something, yeah, you were saying
sorry.
that's fine, you go.
Even though that Dino Drive was a Megazord mode, we thought it would be a power up.
Yeah, we thought it would be. I thought at least because I remember with Disney and Saban in the old days, they would release like just figures or like with armored modes for no reason. Like it was just for the toy line. So I thought it was gonna be something like that. And yeah, and I remember just getting super hyped. And then for this year, for nothing to be like nothing at all to be shown, that was just crazy. And I actually heard that tomorrow for Toy Fair with Hasbro, which is later on, we're gonna talk about Hasbro and all that stuff. That they're gonna be releasing a bunch of stuff that's rumored apparently. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see what they have in store for next year.
Yeah, that's what I was about to mention when we would get to Hasbro, that tomorrow we were going to get some reveals.
Yeah. Okay. I sorry. I don't want to interrupt or anything, but I wanna figure out. Is there any way to like share the link to this live or anything to somebody else or?
Um, let me see, because I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
there is.
Because I have some of my
Yeah.
friends I want to see it too.
All right, so head to your Gmail. I'll send it to you there.
Sure thing.
Because right now my phone is occupied with the
Hmm?
Instagram thing.
All right. I'm on Gmail.
All right, I'm about to send it.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want to be rude or anything, but this is our first time doing all this stuff, so I'm trying to get used to it.
Oh, this is my first time doing all this as well, especially on YouTube, where I don't know how to exactly do it on YouTube.
I did it once, like a few years ago. All right. I get it now.
I
I got it now. Oh,
Yeah, I
I'm
tried doing
actually.
it years ago, but it didn't work since I had a Windows at the time.
All right. I think I see it now.
Oh, and we have two more guests from Instagram: Ivan Wow1 and Joseph Cockrell47. So hello there.
All right, this is super cool. Now I see that it's like a YouTube video type thing. I'm sorry, I'm super stupid in this whole
Don't
thing
worry.
right now. All right, sorry. I wanted to send the links to some of my friends. All right, so we can continue talking. Okay. All right.
So
All right. So yeah, you go. You go. Sorry.
yeah, we were talking about power-ups and stuff, how they would release like armored figures in the past.
Yeah, but we gotta let's go back to the Saban Bandai breakup thing. Is there anything else you want to talk about it? Because
Yeah, so what I actually heard is that the guy who currently runs Hasbro actually used to be at Bandai. So Saban knew him for a while, and that guy, he kept pressuring them, when are you coming to Hasbro? When are you coming to Hasbro?
yeah, they're best buds. Actually, I was in my job today, and I was thinking about all that stuff, and I realized that if you remember, Power Ranger, the press, the how do you say the trademark for the next year's season is always released early in January, and they usually say all the contract stuff. Because if you
Yeah,
remember, in 2014, right before Super Mega Force started, we got the trademark for Dino Charge. We got all the extension stuff for Nickelodeon and all that. And
Yeah, it
yeah,
was like the day that Year's Year ended.
yeah. And then the thing is, I was thinking that the reason why they took so long to release the contract thing for new Nickelodeon was probably because they were trying to do the deal with the leaving Bandai and going to Hasbro, and that's probably what lagged them so much. That's probably they were taking so long. They were probably focusing on the whole Hasbro thing, and I think they've had this plan for like a while now. They've seen. Well, I saw a tweet where they were talking about maybe the reason that Saban left Bandai was because the toy sales with the movie wasn't so good and the movie flopped and all that stuff, and they probably realized around like fall of last year, like, hey, we're not doing so well with Bandai. A lot of the fans don't like the toys and stuff, so that like we should probably look for a new company, and that's probably why it took so long for the contract. And that's just my little conspiracy that I have for that.
Yeah, so, and the whole thing about contracts and stuff, where notice how the new toys are supposed to be coming in March or April, I think it was. It was around that time. So I don't know if this means we're gonna get the show a bit later next year, where we might be seeing it March, or I don't think this would happen, but Power Rangers back in the day used to air in like August around there.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, MMPR started in August, and then I think they played all of season 1 by December of '93.
Yeah,
I've seen and then I think either fall. No, it was spring of '94 that season 2 came out, and then all that played until late '94. Yeah, etc.
Yeah, and I don't exactly remember when they started airing in January, I think it was, or February, like early in the year and later.
I think it was because season 3 came out in '95, but that was after the movie came out, and the movie came out in summer of '95. So I think it was with either Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers that aired and started airing in spring, and then after that was followed by Zeo, if I'm correct. That's probably how it started with spring, and then they kept it after with the Turbo movie coming out and stuff. And yeah, I think that's how it started like that.
Yeah, it probably was around that time period.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and I mean, yeah, it's crazy at the end of the day that Saban left Bandai because they've been doing this since MMPR. They started when they brought Power Rangers over from Japan. They started with Bandai because Bandai is the company that does the toys in Japan, so it might as well do it in America with the same company. But the fact that they're leaving them, it's crazy because it's where it all started. It's the company that you look at it and you're like, oh, it's Power Rangers. They make Power Rangers toys, nothing else. Without Power Rangers, they're nothing. So it's gonna be really, really sad for employees working at Bandai.
The only relevant thing that they have left is Dragon Ball.
And Dragon Ball Super is ending this year in Japan. So imagine next year. I think they have 2 more years left with Adult Swim if they kind of like lag the dubs and stuff.
Yeah, and the only thing that they're really doing with Dragon Ball seems to be the Dragon Stars, which I actually own Goku and Frieza.
I don't have any of them. I was gonna get some of them, but like last year I started working and I got a car and everything, and I had to pay the insurance, and I started saving up more. Like I was only focusing on Power Ranger stuff, and yeah, so I didn't get any of the Dragon Star figures, but I seen them. They're cool. But I'd rather have 5-inch figures for Dragon Ball Z. If you don't know, Jack Specific used to back in like the early 2000s, Jack Specific used to release 5-inch figures. Yeah,
I was watching commercials the other day for Jack Specific.
Yeah, it would have been cool if they if they had the figures still coming out and stuff.
In fact, the whole Dragon Ball thing actually leads me to how Bandai distributes their toys, because today I actually went to Toys R Us, and it turns out that Toys R Us, which is like 10 minutes from my house, was closing. So like there was nothing. And then how I found the Dragon was in the Walgreens next to that Toys R Us. I think this was like October of last year. And even though those things are supposed to be in Toys R Us and stuff, like the legacy figures, I have yet to find anything from Wave 4.
Yeah, are you talking about the Power Ranger stuff? Because you kind of lagged on the live stream thing.
Yeah. I was talking about the whole how I found the Dragon Stars at Walgreens and how I yet have to find the Wave 4
stuff. You mean with Butterscotch, the Butterscotch Gold Ranger? You talking about this?
That's Gold Ranger. I'm sorry, this is actual gold.
Oh, funny story. I found them because I was going. At my job, I had to take cars to another location. I work at this rental car company thing, and I was like deep down in like Homestead. Like this is like the last. Like this is like a really like how do you say, like, it's like a ghost town in Florida, but it has people, it's not like very populated. And I go to this random Walgreens to pick up some snacks for lunch, and I just go to the toy section. I'm just like, oh, whatever, I won't find anything, and I find Gold Ranger. I find literally every single figure from the wave, and I found them on. I picked them up, and I went to town, and I got lucky. But it's crazy how you're only finding them at a drugstore. Yeah.
What's funny is that, speaking of Gold Rangers, I finally found them in his master mode at Big Lots the other day. The toy aisle was a complete mess, but when I started like searching in, I found them. All they had were master mode figures.
Yeah, I like the master mode figures. They look cool, but I wouldn't collect them because I'm the type of person that I like them, but like I already have the Basics Rangers, and just because they get a little power up that they barely even use outside cockpit, it's definitely not worth it for me. So,
and the fact that Ninja Master Mode is basically now irrelevant because of the fact that we have Super Steel Mode.
Yeah, Super Steel Mode, which again, like I think they're cool, but they didn't even release the girls this time. They just released the guys, so I don't even think we're gonna get the girls.
Strikers Charged, it kind of looks like the uniforms from those games.
Yeah, true. All right, so you want to move on to the Hasbro getting the Power Ranger toy stuff?
Yeah. So how I like to describe this whole thing, because Valentine's Day just happened, is that Saban broke up with Bandai the day after Valentine's Day, and then afterwards started dating Hasbro.
Yeah.
That's basically.
Yeah, but you gotta admit, Bandai, like, they used to make some cool toys. Cause I don't know if you've seen this, but I've seen like stuff from the past. Stuff that they used to release with like Bandai back in the old days. With Time Force, for example, I don't know if you've seen this thing where they made like this really cool playset for the figures, and you can actually like put the. Have you seen it?
Thing where they would launch the time ships.
Troll-based thing, and it comes with Rancic and everything. I've seen that on eBay 1,000 times, and I wanted to get that, but it's overpriced, and I'm not gonna pay like $400 for that thing just because it's old.
And yeah, in fact, I don't know if you can see on the top left corner of my screen or the top right, depending on how the camera is angled. I actually do have some Dino Thunder play sets. Actually, no. Let me move here. Yeah. Some of the play sets.
I was trying to see, but the thing is that like the screen is kind of blurry. It's probably, I don't know. I think it's just a live stream thing in general. It gets blurry. But yeah, I see some cool stuff up there. So maybe in the future we could focus more on our collections of background.
Yeah. But it's kind of difficult for me because of the fact that my bed is like right over here.
Oh no, I have like a little section in my room. Like my bed is all the way in the corner though. I don't know if you see it in the background there. And then I have my collection here, so I have like a little bit of space around.
Yeah. But anyways, about the whole house, I actually did take a look at some reviews of Marvel Legends before coming into this, because for those of you guys who don't know, Hasbro owns not only Transformers and My Little Pony, but they also have the toy rights to Star Wars, Marvel, Littlest Pet Shop, and the last one, which really surprised me because a ton of kids in my school play this, Magic the Gathering.
Oh yeah, Magic the Gathering. That's super popular.
2 things from Instagram. Diogo JFDD joined, and Joseph Cockroach 47 has a question. The Marvel Legends figures that Hasbro makes are very high quality and detailed. I can agree with that. Last year I bought 2 Marvel Legends, Spider-Man and Black Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. We haven't seen anything yet, so I'm not gonna say, oh, like it's gonna be bad, it's gonna be good. I'm just saying, like, I'm excited for what they have in store. But I hope the more thing I hope to keep is just the action figure mold for the 5-inch figures. That's really cool. It doesn't need any change at all. And I don't know if you've seen this, but I've seen some Hasbro toys. I don't know if you've seen the Civil War toys from. Have you seen their 5-inch figures?
I think I make. Oh no, not the 5-inch figures, but I have seen the Marvel Legends.
All right, they make Marvel Legends, but besides that, they make these like, I don't know how to describe them because they're not 5-inch figures, but they're just these really small like 3-inch quarter figures, and they have like barely any articulation. And
yeah, when I went to Toys R Us before the operation, I actually looked at the Spider-Man aisle to see if I could find some action figures for the new movie, because at that time the Marvel Legends for Homecoming hadn't released yet.
Hadn't released yet, yeah.
Figures, and I'm like, wow, these look more like Happy Meal toys.
Yeah, that's the thing. Unless you're like you can afford the $20 Marvel Legends figures. If you want to get something cheaper, for example, you want to get some 5-inch figures, you know, just regular $9 figures. They're gonna have like very limited articulation. That you can just move the arms like this and the legs, and that really bothers me. And if we get Power Ranger figures like that, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna collect anything from Hasbro. Like there's some specific things that I want them to change. For example, the Morpher for Ninja Steel, it's utter crap. I hopefully they do something better with that. They get better electronics for the next year's season, whatever we get adapted. But the 5-inch figures, don't change them. There's nothing that you need to change. The Megazords maybe, because I don't like Sword Builder. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's cool, but for a little kid, it's cool. Not for me. I'd rather have the Japanese molds, and if you want to combine them with us seasons and stuff, that's it's your opinion. But in my opinion, I don't really think Sword Builder is necessary. You know. But yeah, but they could change the Megazord stuff. They could change the they could change the Morpher, but not the figures. Just the figures, they're fine the way they are.
It's a good thing you brought the Japanese Zords up because in the original Transformers show, since they were compiling robots from two different toy lines, Diaclone, and I forgot the other one right now. But there's this one character called Jetfire, which he got a controversy because the toy looked nothing like in the show. But the problem is that Hasbro couldn't release the actual toy of Jetfire because that was made by Bandai.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And my fear with the figures is that I love these figures. I love the articulation of them and everything. But maybe they might have to change them slightly due to copyright reasons.
I mean, we'll see.
I'm not sure how it works.
We'll see. We gotta we haven't seen anything yet. Like I said, tomorrow is when Toy Fair really they go all out for they apparently I don't know if you've seen this, but Toku Nation on Twitter they said that apparently tomorrow's gonna be a big day for Power Ranger fans, and Hasbro's gonna be showing us a lot of stuff. I mean, I think I saw that. I don't know, but that's what he was implying in my opinion. But yeah, so we don't really know anything yet.
Yeah, since we were talking about Marvel Legends earlier, I brought the White Ranger as an example because this is a character that only has Saba as his weapon.
Yeah.
But Marvel Legends figures have a tendency to add in more accessories and stuff for the same price as a legacy figure. Like the Spider-Man figure I got, they both had a bunch of interchangeable hands and stuff. But I've seen other figures like Deadpool, where he has stuff like a gun with a boxing glove, 2 katanas, and interchangeable faces, and a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a good because Deadpool is this character that breaks the fourth wall, and he has all these different things. So I think it really depends on the character. They put if it's a character like the White Ranger that just comes to Sabo, they'll probably add in maybe a build a figure part just to make it even. I don't know. I mean,
Something that I was thinking earlier today as I was heading to school is that if they were to do an SPD wave, they could have everyone come with their weapons and stuff, and then maybe you could have the Build-A-Figures as well. But maybe you could have someone like Omega or Shadow who they don't really use that many weapons come with the dog that they would use as their cannon.
Yeah, they could do a lot of crazy stuff. I mean, like I said, we don't really know anything now, so they can make some wacky choices. They can make some cool stuff. It really, yeah, we have to wait and see. That's all I can say. This is some good speculation.
2 more people have joined in. Gold King Mikey and Lord One. So hello there.
All right.
Speaking of Marvel Legends, they could kind of do something like that where they could have everyone with their weapons and someone who doesn't really use weapons just give them an added prop. If you've ever seen the figure arts for Gokai Green, they actually do have Navi with them, the parrot.
Oh, okay.
So about this whole Hasbro thing, you were saying that it's going to be a big event tomorrow.
Yeah, if every year for Toy Fair, they usually they go all out. They show all the toys that are coming this fall and all that. Like I said, I saw on Tokyo Nation, their Twitter, they made tomorrow's gonna be a big day for Power Ranger fans. I'll try to find it if you want, but it means that they'll most likely either show some stuff for next year's season.
I have the article on me right now, so I could probably just share my screen.
Sorry?
I could share my screen right now since I have the article in the background.
Yeah, you could try to find that. Yeah, he's the first person that popped up right now. Token Nation.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm screen sharing now, and let me just go in.
Yeah, it was a tweet that they made, so I'm not sure if you're gonna find it on the website.
Right.
Yeah, they've been tweeting a lot today too, because he's actually the guy that found out about all this Hasbro stuff and all that.
Yeah, it says it here. Is it this one?
Yeah, we'll look at some brand new. Stay tuned. Or Toy Fair. Yeah, that's one of them. That's actually fairly new because yeah, I was watching Ginga Man, so I haven't had time to check Twitter, but yeah, that's a good hype tweet in my opinion. But yeah, but there's another tweet where he says, "Oh, tomorrow's gonna be a big day and all that."
Yeah. So let me just go back to the camera over here.
See myself. This is crazy.
All right, I'm back.
So yeah, we should do another one of these tomorrow night if some crazy stuff happens because you never really know, you know.
Yeah, it depends because I get back from work at like 4, so we'll have to see about that.
Yeah,
If anything,
I have a party I have to go to like at night, but if anything, we'll do it around the afternoon or after 4, and then around 5. It really depends on you. Another thing I want to talk about was actually I've seen this rumor on 4chan. Somebody was sharing these tweets on Ranger Board. Apparently that they plan on not releasing the new toys until next year, after the whole contract thing finishes Bandai. Because Saban did leave Bandai, but it's not until April 2019 that it goes into effect. So right now we have an entire year still of staying with Bandai.
yeah, which it would make sense for them not to release it until the contract with Bandai is over because you don't want to have a wave of Q Ranger toys from Bandai and then all of a sudden have a completely new wave of toys from Hasbro.
Yeah, the thing is that I don't wanna go to toy stores and just see a clog because I don't know if you know, but when you go to Toys R Us right now, you see movie stuff, you see Ninja Steels, Ninja Super Steel, or Super Ninja Steel, whatever you want to call it, and then you see some Dino Supercharged stuff left over that nobody wants to buy. So right now, just Toys R Us in general, it's just a big clutter mess of random Power Ranger stuff from everywhere. And on top of that, you also have Legacy figures and Legacy Megazords and stuff. And yeah.
When I went to Toys R Us earlier today, there were actually a bunch of female Legacy figures lying around, and a bunch of and up to Marshalls to pick up my mom and my sister, and there were a ton of movie figures there as well. All of them were Billy.
Wow. Another rumor that I heard was apparently they're gonna wait for all those toys, all that movie stuff, Ninja Steel stuff to just like people to buy them, and when they see that toy stores just don't have anything Power Ranger related, then they'll start releasing the Q Ranger stuff, and that'll probably be next year. So they're basically leaving an entire year of nothing. They won't be releasing anything. That's what I heard. So that probably means why. That's probably why we're not getting any other Ninja Training Mode figures. I don't know if you know, but there's only 3 Ninja Training Mode figures released right now.
They're supposed to be coming out soon.
Yeah, I don't know because they were supposed to release the last year in fall.
And this actually gets me to the fact for the Power Rangers movie because there were a bunch of toys from that movie which were going
Never came out.
Yeah, Rita's the Green Ranger. I definitely wanted that.
That never came out. They also had planned for figures of the Rangers without their helmets, just like you can see the civilian's face, and that never came out either. And yeah, and
they
then
would
there
have
was
set.
there was releases. There was plans for release of the flip head figures for Trini and Kimberly, and that never came out either.
Wait, those didn't come out because I think I saw some listings on Amazon.
No, I've only seen Billy. He did get released, but Trini and Kimberly never came out officially.
Yeah, the only one I have is Jason, and I've kind of had to like play around with his civilian head because it's not properly fitted.
Yeah, I think they're cool figures, but I wouldn't collect them personally. All of them, like it's not worth it. They're like $16 figures, and then you just flip the head and that's it. I think the only reason why they charged them $60 was because it's like this big bulky figure. But yeah, but I'd rather just stick with the 5-inch figures, in my opinion.
The Automorphing figures that I got recently, the ones re-released from '93, those are like 15.
Gosh, I saw them at GameStop and I contemplated it so badly because I used to have the Pink Ranger figure a few years ago. I found it at a flea market, and I was like, I should get him again, but I'm like, nah, it's not worth it, you know. I'm kind of tired of MPR related merchandise. Like I'm just tired of it. Like I've seen it so much ever since I started collecting. So
I comment on Token Nation where it's like, considering how Hasbro likes to treat Generation 1 Transformers, MMPR is just going to be like a massive overhaul.
it's just, I don't know, man. I just hope that next year for April we get Q Ranger stuff. I mean, we don't even know if Q Ranger is gonna get adapted. We could probably go get Jewelger or Tokyo, so we still don't know what season's gonna get adapted. But I just hope they release figures for whatever adaptation we get next year, not MMPR. MMPR they should probably start selling selling stuff like later on after we've we've gotten a bunch of Q Ranger stuff, from the new adaptation or whatever. But yeah, but they just start April 2019 with a bunch of MMPR stuff from it's I'm not gonna be excited about that.
And I don't know if this could be a cause for Saban leaving Bandai. Maybe it's because like I think it's Saban who selects the Sentai seasons themselves, but what if it's actually Bandai that's telling them, oh, you have to do Kyoryuger because it sold more money than Go Busters, or you have to do Ninninger because Tokyuger would be... Actually, no, Saban was the one who said that Tokyuger was too kiddish to be adapted.
I think yeah, I think it's just both. Like they both think these, like they both decide on it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that they both like said, oh, Ninninger's gonna be better, so let's choose Ninninger. And look what they have now. Like, and nobody is buying the Ninja Steel stuff, so it's funny.
And keep in mind that Q Ranger actually had some American input.
That Q Ranger
were coming in and they're like, oh, you have to do this and you have to do that so that you could get a bigger audience.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm pretty sure Q Ranger's gonna get adapted. There's no way. It's such a Power Ranger-ish 2010s looking season that it's just gonna get adapted. Like I already see the episode in my mind. It's some like really like sharp looking Red Ranger guy. He's all attractive, just like all the past Red Rangers we've been getting. It's gonna happen. Like it looks like a Neo Saban era season, in my opinion.
Yeah, because when you look at the designs for Go Busters could have fit well, even though they were leather.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree that it kind of looks odd because when I first saw the suits when the catalogs first came out, I was like, these look like knockoffs.
Yeah, the Tokyo guys. I remember in sixth grade
when it first came out.
Sorry, I'm going over you.
Don't worry, go ahead.
No, you were saying sorry. You kept lagging, so I couldn't hear you well.
Oh, go ahead, because I was talking about how like when I first saw the Juoger suits, I kind of didn't like them because they looked too simplistic in terms because the helmets were great, but the chest part it just looked like a t-shirt.
Yeah, Juoger I loved. I don't know why fans pick on them because they do look wacky. I'll admit that they look like the Tokyo suits, like they have like this just simple design. But when I saw them, I immediately fell in love with them. And in the entire year of 2016, I think that's like probably the time that I bought so much Sentai stuff. The same year it's airing, like I fell in love with the animal design. If you don't know, Power Rangers Wild Force was the first season I ever watched of Power Rangers. So I've always had this thing with animals based seasons. And yeah, so I like Joker. The suits are kind of simple, and for 2 years it wouldn't work over here, but maybe for like a mini series or like at least like a year season thing, it would definitely work. But yeah,
in fact, I don't think do something about Hasbro. They tend to do a lot of stuff with their shows. For example, with Transformers, I know that they're currently doing their own show, but then they'll release something like Rescue Bots every once in a while, which is another show. So maybe now that, because I've heard that Hasbro could be buying out Power Rangers as a whole in the near future. So if they end up doing that, they could probably do some like Netflix exclusive miniseries, like Power Rangers Animal Force or something like that.
We really don't know. I mean, there's actually also a rumor that Hasbro might actually be able to buy all of Power Rangers from Saban. Like it's this crazy thing that apparently people are saying that they might be able to buy that. And I'm just wondering, actually, like if that happens, are they still going to stick with Nickelodeon after they buy it from Saban?
They have the contract until 2021, but I think what Hasbro could do, I'm not sure where their current shows air because Power Rangers would be kind of weird to fit in TV and anywhere else that's not Nickelodeon because Disney is an obvious red flag, and Cartoon Network doesn't really want live action shows after 2009.
That's very strange though, because in Cartoon Network in like Latin America countries or I don't know Hispanic countries, they aired in Cartoon Network. I don't know if
Yeah, it happens with Ninjago in other countries where in the US it airs on Cartoon Network, but in other countries it'll air on like Nickelodeon.
I don't know. This is actually a cool story I want to tell you. I was in Cuba over the summer, and one afternoon I was watching some TV with my little cousin, and over there we had this thing called a cable, and we were able to watch TV from the United States, and we had all these channels, and they were airing they had like a Cartoon Network channel, but it was from the Hispanic countries, from like Mexico, Argentina, and all that, and they played a trailer for Ninja Steel in Spanish. It was like the Cartoon Network, the Spanish version, and Ninja Steel was like they said, oh, like coming up is Power Rangers Ninja Steel. And I was watching Ninja Steel Rangers, speaking Spanish, and I was like, oh, so like they do it there in other countries. So it was really cool. And I was gonna watch it, but I had to leave the house, so I was able to catch up with that. Yeah, you were saying?
I know that England they air it in another country as not another country, another channel as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it's exactly called.
Yeah. I think it's it starts with an S. It's in the tip of my tongue because I've seen it before. I've seen the little teasers thing they had with it. And
Oh, hold on. We got from Instagram. Yeah. Richard Red 29 joined in. Lord Wumpus just replied with a bunch of crying, laughing emojis. Joseph Cockrell 47 asked, "What were y'all's first seasons?" Which you kind of already answered that, and I'll answer that second. But Nick Zavi Horn says hi. So hello. So regarding that question of my first season, here's the thing. I kind of really didn't have a first season technically that I watched in full. Because when I was little, I want to say that my first exposure to Power Rangers was around Dino Thunder SPD-ish. But I always got terrified of watching SPD because of Emperor Grum.
Oh.
It looks super scary. And the fact that he has this menacing voice like that terrified me. The first actual season I watched in full, I want to say was Samurai. But I remember when I was little, I remember this one specific instance where I was about to go to kindergarten or something, and on the TV they had Jetix, which after that, I don't know why, I think it was Comcast who removed Jetix.
Yeah.
And I remember watching this one clip of the Rescue Megazord forming from Turbo. And I remember another clip of this Megazord fight from Mystic Force.
Okay. Yeah, I want to say my first. I mean, I've known Power Rangers all my life. I think that the reason why I'm still stuck with it today is because it's been a constant thing that's been in my life. As early as when I used to live in Cuba, I think the earliest memory I have is Power Rangers Wild Force. That was the first season I watched, and I have such a great memory with it because my aunt used to call me over here from the United States all the way to Cuba. She would call me on the phone. And she'd be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm watching Power Rangers." And yeah. And then when I came over here the first time in the United States, my first year here, the first day she bought me a bunch of Power Rangers Jungle Fury toys. Like I remember the big box sets of like these like play sets. It was like the 3 Jungle Fury Rangers, and it came with like this little like big helmet thing. It was like this like kind of like cave looking thing, and it came with like a bike for the Red Jungle Fury Ranger. And yeah.
Yeah, and there was something I was going to mention earlier about the whole like toys thing. Yeah, my mom, when I was getting operated when I was little, I remember that she told me that one of the nurses actually managed to find some O-Ranger flip heads. She said, "I remember you had the flip heads. They were from Japan." I'm like, "So were they the O-Ranger ones?" And she's like, "Probably."
That's crazy, man.
I may not have had them, but I currently don't have them. Same with this birthday cake where they actually had the turbo figures on there, but they're like the figures that would come with the carts and stuff. But I don't know where those ended up going.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I think I've seen those on. I don't know if you know this channel called CC Lemon 99. He does like these really cool reviews of the Japanese toys.
Yeah.
with this really cool music. I think he's the reason why I love Sentai music, because it's just so epic. He plays it over every single review, and I've seen reviews for the Car Ranger ones where they come with the little carts and stuff. And yeah, I've seen
what I think you call Artillotron and Turbo, the giant like parking garage that they had for the rescue Zords.
Yeah.
Japanese theme is lit.
No, I think my favorite Japanese theme, theme. Look at me saying it the wrong way. Yeah, I'm not gonna say my favorite because there's a lot of cool ones.
Oh, my mom just brought in my dog.
Oh, hi, hi again. You got a cute dog, man.
Thanks. She's a wiener dog. Her name is Princess.
I have a dog too. Her name's Chachi. But she's in my mom's room, so I don't want to bring her over. She's annoying. She starts running around everywhere.
Yeah, I also have a bunny, but he's outside.
No, I have a rooster in my backyard. Like, it just popped up the other day, and it's been there for the past like few days. So I just, I leave it there. Yeah, it's a strange rooster. It just came out of nowhere.
But yeah, something I wanted to mention earlier about Hasbro is the Power Rangers movies, because as we know, sadly, the original movie wasn't that much of a success in terms of sales and box office.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. Like, I really thought it was gonna do well, but I feel like there's a lot of reasons why it did flop. I think that they were just it was too early for Power Rangers movie to be released. I don't know, I've seen this, but not a lot of people, they don't say it when they hear Power Rangers. They don't think, oh, like the Marvel superheroes where they take them seriously. They still see Power Rangers as it's like just a quirky show. It's just go Power Rangers. It's corny. It's weird. Because I don't think they were ready yet for something Power Rangers related to be like Marvel and DC and all that. And I think it was too early for them to release a movie. I think they should have waited until after 2020 to establish the whole movie thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the kind of thing that happened with the movie. Wait, what was I about to say? Oh yeah, you mentioned earlier about like how they weren't ready.
Yeah.
What happened is that the movie kind of went against people's expectations. Like me and my friends, we all saw it opening night. We loved it.
Yeah,
but we loved it for it not really feeling like Power Rangers. Like it wasn't just, oh yeah, moral of the day, let's go fight the monster. That's it. Like there was a lot more character development put into it, and it was really more story about people than it was about Power Rangers. And I think that may have turned off some people because you have Marvel movies which can balance both action and character, and maybe they felt that the character stuff was like too like it was bogging down the plot too much.
I think they should have done more scenes with the Rangers in their suits. I feel like most of the movie is just them out of their suits getting ready. And I understand, if you make it too much Ranger stuff, it's gonna look like a toy commercial. But they should have done some scenes where the Rangers, like for example, they fight Rita off for the first time, but they don't win. They lose, and they're cocky and they're trying to get used to being like the Ranger. Like they should have been like a compilation of like it should have been like a reboot of MMPR episodes 1 through like 10 maybe. Just kind of put it all in like to one movie where the Rangers, they transform for the first time, they fight the monster, but they don't beat him. They have to go back to the base and they have to continue training. And we get, some character related scenes, like for example, you know what I mean, Yeah. If, like they compiled like a bunch of episodes and went to one movie, And yeah.
And the thing is that while I was operated, I remember watching this one certain Marvel movie, which it kind of did the same thing that Power Rangers did, where it focused more on character stuff rather than in action.
Mm-hmm.
And that movie was 4 from 2011.
4?
Yeah.
Oh.
Where basically he spends, I want to say, half the movie without his powers. But at least early on in the movie, they show, oh yeah, he's a bit cocky and stuff. So he gets sent down to Earth and loses everything.
Yeah.
And then it back again.
I think they should experiment with like maybe like make it like Sentai. I don't know if you've seen in Japan, but they make movies for the series. Like every year they have a summer movie. They should probably try that first.
Canceled now.
Yeah, they canceled them. That's pretty sad, but I'm not sure because apparently Q-Ranger's doing a thing with Gavan this year where they're doing a crossover.
What we're referring to is the Superhero Taisen movie, because Superhero Taisen is a thing that should be done every once in a while.
Yeah, every year,
Every year, because you'll get bored. And plus, the later movies started to just become Kamen Rider crossovers with just the current Sentai team.
The thing I'm gonna miss if they do start canceling these movies is the crossovers with the past Sentai teams. Like it was always cool to see the ninjas cross over with the Tokyo for the Tokyojers. You know, the ninjas come with they fight the Jewogers. It was always cool to see crossovers, and I don't if they're not gonna do that anymore, it's gonna be pretty sad because I've always liked crossovers and
It's kind of good that Q Ranger doesn't have a crossover with Ranger because
yeah,
remember
it takes
from
place in a different
the
universe.
Deca Ranger episode, it's established that Q Ranger takes place in another dimension.
Yeah,
Now,
so it would have been really whack if they just the Jewogers just popped out of nowhere.
yeah. Now I have a theory that instead of traveling to another dimension, they actually travel to the past without them knowing, considering we don't know anything about Earth. But as officially stated, it takes place in a different world than all the other Super Sentai shows, which makes sense since in Q Ranger, everyone's basically dead. And we
Yeah,
basically
and
have
it's actually pretty cool that it's the universe is already taken over and they have to liberate it. That was always a cool idea. I haven't seen Q Ranger. I haven't seen the entire series. I've only seen episodes 1 and 2 and a few other episodes because last year I was really focused on Power Rangers and the movie and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna try to watch it this year, and if not, I'll just wait for adaptation to come in, and I'll probably get more focused on the story then. But I heard it's a really cool Sentai, and it's actually one of the best ones since Q Ranger. Even though I think Jewel was a good Sentai, it kind of went a little boring throughout like the middle of it.
yeah, and I left off on like episode 20 something for Q Ranger. I know that I left off at a point where Polo Soldier had already joined the team.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to the whole movie discussion, considering how Hasbro has been sort of in charge of the Transformers movies, there could be a possibility that there could be a sequel and maybe like they fix up some stuff from the original that people didn't like.
Yeah,
But
like I hope this is a sequel to a movie, but I feel like at the same time, if they take too long to do it, it's gonna look weird seeing the Rangers. The actors are gonna get older. They're not gonna look the same as they were in 2017. So I just hope they try to do it before 2020 at least. But we're already in 2018. 2019 is next year. So it's kind of scary to think when they'll release a sequel, if they ever will. And yeah.
that's kind of why the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies failed, because the actors would keep growing up, but the stories are supposed to be, they don't have a certain year in which they happen.
They took too long. Yeah, I remember seeing those movies. I saw all of them in the theaters. I used to love that stuff. But yeah,
not my Roderick. Hashtag not my Roderick.
Oh shoot. He looks ugly. He looks super ugly. Like I didn't see the new one. That's the only one I haven't seen in theaters. Like I hated the new one.
Yeah, the Roderick from the first one was perfect.
Yeah. And then he was my favorite character in the second one. The second one is probably the best Wimpy Kid movie out in my opinion. Roger Rules.
Yeah. But anyways, I think the last thing we should get to is what do we hope that Hasbro will do with the franchise?
Ooh, I mean, I just hope the show's watchable again. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you've seen past Power seasons. Time Force, Lightspeed Rescue. The show can be aimed for kids, but it can be cool at the same time. Like I understand that Ninja Steel, it's sometimes the show isn't gonna be super serious like Time Force, and it's not gonna. But try to make it fun. Dino Charge was a fun season. I enjoyed every single episode of Dino Charge. Back in 2015, it was probably the best time for me to be a Power Ranger fan. The toys were amazing, and the show was good. Exactly. But now in 2017, the Ninja Steel season, like, let me explain to you an episode. Oh, the Rangers are having some drama in high school, and Victor Monty up to no good. And then, then injured footage out of nowhere. And then back to, like, the Rangers having some drama at high school or whatever. It's just,
I actually showed up some of the episode plots for Super Ninja Steel. I think it was episodes 5 through 7.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, look at these plots and tell me what you think. And he's like, okay, the one for the Galactic Ninjas actually sounds cool, but everything else is horrible.
I think that, like, probably one of my least favorites that I remember the most is like it's the one with the Red Ranger. It's the last episode that's like on the list, and apparently the Red Ranger is accused of stealing something from his teacher.
Oh my god, that one. That sounds.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
Needs to decide if it wants to be Power Rangers or if it wants to be Saved by the Bell. Because
Saved by the Bell, all that high school drama. First of all, he's in high school. Like, are you serious? You're gonna get accused of stealing something in a high school?
And I've seen all of Full House, thanks to my sister. And those plots.
I think Saved by the Bell is more serious in the show at this point. Like,
Exactly. Like towards the later seasons, considering the characters were already maturing, they actually did a lot more serious
A lot of
plots.
serious stuff. I mean, I understand that Power Rangers can't have a season where it's based in high school, even though they've done it too much at this point. It's getting kind of repetitive. But you know, you can have high school drama and balance it with like the Ranger stuff. How about, for example, oh, the Red Ranger gets accused of stealing something at his high school, and he's stressing over it because you know the people are accusing him. But at the same time, he has to deal with this monster that's the monster's like defeating all the Rangers, and he's super strong, and he's stressing over these two things, and he has to balance them out. That would have been a cool plot right there. You know?
Yeah, I think the reason that they did high school, and I, I'm pretty sure I could make a video about this soon, but there are a lot of similarities visually between MMPR and Ninja Steel. And I felt that because it was the 25th anniversary, they went ahead and did the whole high school thing just to sort of like throw back to MMPR. Kind of like what Megaforce did.
Megaforce, I think they even did it better. They started off with the high school plots, but after like a while, they kind of just started going Power Ranger. Like it was full on. Every episode was action packed, and I admit there were some times in some episodes that everything was just Power Rangers. Like they never had any time to breathe out of their suits. But at least it was focused more on the action. And the show's called Power Rangers. You know, Ninja like in Ninja Steel, it's called Power Rangers Ninja Steel, but it's more like the Rangers are in high school, featuring Power Rangers Ninja Steel. You know, Megaforce
Exactly.
was yeah.
It's like if you had an episode of Justice League where Clark Kent is doing his.
Uh-huh. And yeah. Yeah, and I think that's like episode 8 of the Super Ninja Steel, if I'm correct, the one with the Red Ranger getting accused. So that's already like almost half of the season. It's just high school plots.
Yeah, and speaking of the whole Nickelodeon thing, the fact that they actually renewed till 2021, and then Nickelodeon posts a picture of Q-Ray.
Oh, they have some terrible they have like horrible control when it comes to like I don't know, but Nickelodeon like they're just whacked with like when they do like when they do trailers and stuff, they barely advertise Power Rangers in the first place, and then when they do, it's just trash. And then this
I
Q
actually
Rangers.
got at this game of Super Brawl. It was one of the more recent installments where the red Tyler's power up in the game, his special move was just growing duo gorilla muscles.
That's dumb. That's just dumb.
Exactly. And I remember when I was going to SuperCon in summer, there was a lot of traffic, but I saw the trailer for the new episodes of Ninja Steel. Yeah, text everywhere. And I don't want to be offensive, but I think they were trying to aim the trailer to people who couldn't hear. That's kind of what it felt like for me because you had text everywhere. I'm like, what's the point of this text? It's no different than when Disney did the remaster of MMPR in 2010.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
So the whole thing about 2021 is kind of surprising because it's sort of an odd year. So assuming we still have super seasons, we would have Q Ranger, Super Q Ranger, but then I don't know if they're going to do Pato Ranger versus Lupin Ranger.
Probably skip that for like the 2019 Sentai, whatever we get next year.
Yeah, because they always seem to go for the Sentais that fall on the odd years. Or I don't know, the thing where they finally managed to get at least 25 episodes or something without counting stuff like the Christmas and Halloween specials.
I don't know why they do that at Christmas and Halloween stuff. They could easily like take that out and use it for more episodes, you know?
Exactly. And we have a couple of more people here. We have Firecraiser 250 from earlier is doing the on point sign. Power Rangers Lexi Figures joined in. I met underscore 0318 joined in, and she writes in, you go, Julio. And Hamilton underscore Mitchell joined.
All right, it's about to be 9, so I don't know if you want to wrap things up or actually I was thinking I I don't want to fire myself up or anything. I don't know if you know what that means, but it means I'm making fun of myself. But
yeah,
I've been acting kind of stupid throughout the live stream because you like I hear you talking and then you just like your voice just drowns down and I can't hear anything and then you come back up. So I kind of get confused when you're talking about something and
yeah,
I can't really hear you.
Actually been happening on my end as well. It's the program itself.
Yeah, this I don't know. I don't want to say anything bad about Google because you know that I have to be happy with them because they're the ones that help me like release videos. But this whole stream thing that they have is it kind of sucks, you know.
Yeah, and if you watch the
So
interview that,
if anything, if you want next time we should use probably like Instagram live stream because I've done that before with some friends and that's worked pretty well. At least better than
yeah,
this. I don't know.
and then what was I about to say? Oh yeah, that this whole thing when you watch the interview I did with Rangers live chat a couple months ago, the quality is actually super bad on it.
Yeah. You know what? You want to do this until like 9:30 maybe, and then we talk about more stuff because this is actually pretty cool. Like, but I see you're
Yeah,
getting more watching stuff live than this probably. So you want to move it over there? Maybe we can get some better connection. I don't know.
actually, it's kind of a problem throughout the entire house that we don't know what happens where if you move to like a certain area of the house, the connection will be completely lost. So I'm kind of afraid of that because there have been instances where my mom answers the phone and she moves
Yeah.
around and all of a sudden it hangs up. But I think
All
next
right.
time we should use Skype.
All right. I'm just
But
saying
and
'cause on here, yeah, I can't kind of hear you. You like lag and then you freeze and then you come back up and you're talking about something else and I'm kind of confused. I'm like, oh, what did I say? So you know.
yeah. So I think we should end off with some things that we want Hasbro to do
Mhm.
for the Power Rangers line.
All right. All right. So you go on first. So I'll hear your thoughts and then I'll go after mine.
All right, so I remember I had a list of stuff that I put on Twitter. In fact, let me actually share my screen
Sure thing.
just so that
I'm kind of trying to chill because my back kind of hurts. Okay.
yeah. So let me see. It was around here. I remember that. Oh,
I'm actually watching your live stream right now on Instagram. I have it on, and the quality looks amazing. It looks super clear. So
yeah, it
yeah.
does.
Hmm.
And let me see. Oh yeah, here it is. Where I'm putting my mouse.
Yeah.
So one of the things I wanted, and let me go through each one by one. I want them to release the legacy figures faster because I know that for Marvel Legends, it's insane. They do like 5 different series at once. Like you could have a series based off of I don't know Spider-Man characters, and then in the same year you could have Thor Ragnarok and Black Panther. It's just sort of a hypothetical example.
Yeah.
And the next thing I wanted is a movie Green Ranger figure. I don't care if we don't get anything else for the movie. I just want the Green Ranger to complete my collection. Plus, I
Yeah, that'd
really
be really
dig
cool.
that they made for Rita.
Hmm.
And I felt like maybe towards the end of the movie, after the fight, instead of just slapping her to the moon, she
Should
should,
have fought the Rangers.
she should have morphed and fought them on the ground.
That would have been really
Because,
cool. I don't know. I mean, I'm telling you, there was a lot of missed opportunities in the movie.
yeah, technically they break the one rule of Power Rangers of never escalate a battle unless you're forced to.
Hmm.
Because notice how Zach, while all the putties are they're fighting the Rangers, he brings in the Mastodon all of a sudden.
Yep.
And all of a sudden Rita just tries to attack them and they use the Megazord to smack her. So the third thing that I want to talk about is, and this is something that I really don't have any hope in anymore because I want it to happen, but it's just not possible at this point. At least the figure of the Talon Ranger in any way, shape, or form. They hyped that up so much, and then it ended up leading it to nothing.
Yeah, I actually heard that they might release like Sentai Rangers from Japan that were never adapted. That's also one of the
Yeah,
rumors I've seen on Ranger Board.
and that would be great because I remember, I think it was like half a year ago when someone was asking what type of stuff would you like to see as Power Morphicon exclusives, and I'm like, what if we got Drew Ogier figures?
Oh
And
my God, Jew Orger figures. I have the vinyls, and the vinyls, like I love Jew Orger, but I can't touch those vinyls. Like all they do, the
someone
articulation
else
is
joining.
just, yeah, it makes me
Yeah, we have
cringe. I love Jew Orger, but those vinyls, like we need to get something better than that. Like maybe some 5-inch figures, anything, just please.
yeah, and we got two more people that joined in: Joey Cool Productions and Bianca Vuse.
All right.
So, hello there. All right. So speaking of that, yeah, and then Dawson Ryder calls me a reverse Sentai purist as a joke.
No.
And my fourth one was better collectibles. Like, I feel like what they should have done with the Ninja Power Stars is they could have maybe done some like fidget spinner things. I know
Yeah,
that
they should have done something like
are
that.
really cringy, but they could have done something like that.
They could have easily still made them plastic because I've seen some candy toy versions of the shurikens from Japan, and they still made them plastic, but they took out the electronics, so they were like thinner. They looked like the foam power stars, but if they didn't have the foam stuff, like they look like these right now, but they were spinnable and stuff. They should have done that. They should
And I
have done
get
that. I
that
would
they
have.
wanted to do the whole foam thing where like they'd be able to throw them, but even in knit one, they don't throw the power stars. And two,
Mm-hmm.
in Ninja, when they would just throw the outer shells of the shurikens.
Yeah, they wouldn't throw the entire thing.
Yeah. And five is something that I actually agreed with a lot of people. Maybe we could get some toys for other, like, how do I describe it? For other stuff such as like Hyperforce, maybe.
I think they should do Hyperforce as something for online because remember, not everybody watches the role play like the Hyperforce stuff. A regular kid who's walking by a toy aisle, they might not be online 24/7, so they don't know about Hyperforce. And I've heard Hasbro has like this like a website thing where fans can buy stuff from the website. I think they should make it like an online exclusive thing like Bandai Premium.
And that's something that I wanted to go to. That Bandai America failed to do something like Bandai Premium in Japan, where that way, if they were to sell certain stuff online, like the legacy figures, they wouldn't have to worry about stockpiling and whatnot.
Yep.
And plus, they could stop scalpers on Amazon and stuff because the reason,
That'd be a great help.
yeah, the reason I've tried to hold off on buying any legacy figures through Amazon is because they're like double the price.
They are. I've seen. I think the Green Ranger from the first wave is like $90.
Exactly, like it's ridiculous.
And they never released him. Like I didn't get him at first because I'm not a huge fan of the Green Ranger, but after a while I'm like, oh, like I should probably get him. And then I go on Amazon and he's like $90, and I'm like, nope, forget about it. And then I never got him. So yeah.
And the sixth thing that I put is overall great quality. Like I know that Hasbro can do a bunch of amazing stuff because I was watching some reviews of Marvel Legends and I've also seen Transformers reviews. Which, speaking of Transformers, we could get some Zords with like articulation and stuff as part of the main Megazord. Not necessarily these $20 knockoff things that they've been doing recently.
Yeah, I've seen there's some Megazords out there that I can't believe I'm buying them for $35. Like they really don't look like some type of, and I've seen some Transformer toys because I don't buy the Transformer stuff. I've seen them in toy houses though, and they look like quality toys. They look really like they look as good as a Sentai mech that you get from Japan. Probably better, you know?
I could agree with that because I have two Transformers toys, which they're probably in a box somewhere. I have Sideswipe from the movies, and I have this one from Armada, I think it was. In fact, let me actually look it up. Green Card Transformers. Because I remember it was the sort of like green card thing. Okay, it wasn't Prime. I remember it was like Armada or something. Yeah, it's this guy.
Oh, okay.
This is the one that I have currently somewhere. And I can't seem to find his name. But anyways, that's the one that I have. So overall, what I'm just hoping is that they're actually going to try with this thing because Power Rangers is a great franchise if you know how to use it properly.
Sure, obviously. I think that for the future, I mean, these us Ranger fans, we're getting older, and you know, there's some out there that have been collecting for 20 years now. They should probably, I mean, this is a crazy idea, but Hasbro should probably talk to some Ranger fans that have been collecting toys and they've watched a show like us. I mean, this is a pretty far out idea, but we know a lot of stuff about the merchandise. We know about the show, and we could input some good ideas. We could give them these great ideas that a lot of fans want. You know? And yeah, so they're
I heard
missing.
that.
Hopefully,
Oh, sorry, you were.
just hopefully, I hope they take the opportunity to talk more with fans. Bandai never talked to any fans. They didn't interact with fans. When they did, it was very minimum, and it had to be. You had to be like this very popular collector, you know, known by a lot of people like Bruno from NPR Toys. Like voice of one person for everybody, and it just I feel like Hasbro should do like a community thing where they talk to all the fans. You know, all the fans put their input and stuff, and yeah, it'll help a lot. I think they should do that in the future.
And I know that the one guy that would always try to get opinions is Jason Biscoff. I think that's how you say his last name.
Yeah.
But he didn't even work at Bandai. He works at Saban itself.
He does, and I've seen his Twitter. I follow him on Twitter, and he says some really good stuff. Like he knows a lot about the fans. He knows a lot about the show. He's one of those guys that I think would be a good help to Hasbro, you know, for all the new stuff coming up and what the fans want. And yeah,
Exactly. Like, and I heard that Hasbro has a really good sort of relationship with their older fans, which is why they got in stuff like the Titans Returns from Transformers, which it's essentially all the characters from the Transformers movie, which also appeared in seasons 3 and 4 of the original show.
yeah. I don't know. Actually, I want to tell you something real cool. I actually used to watch Transformers, the cartoon in Cuba. As a kid, I remember I used to see the '80s show. So I'm low key a Transformers fan. Not high key. I don't collect the toys. I don't like the new movies, but I love the show, the original show from the '80s. I've always had like a
I
nostalgia.
remember when I was in first grade, I would get up every morning at 6 a.m. and my mom would bring me milk. And then the episode previews for Bleach would end, and then Transformers Animated would start airing. And even as I look back today, the show is amazing. And I plan on getting the DVD soon.
Yeah, I think they had it on Netflix for a while too. Transformers, the '80s one. I think I saw a few episodes. I never got to watch the entire thing though.
Yeah, the same thing with Justice League, where they had the series, but they took it off before I could get to halfway of the second season.
Yeah, it sucks. Some of the stuff on Netflix is really cool, and then they take it off. Hopefully, Power Rangers stays on there forever because I can't afford every single season at this moment.
Yeah, like I'm currently struggling between balancing, do I want to get O-Ranger, Car Ranger, Mega Ranger, or do I want to get Zeo to Lost Galaxy?
If I were you, I'd get the Sentai stuff first because that's not on Netflix. It's hard to find the subs for that now because the it's a third car. It's like Shout Factory. They're basically releasing the DVD set, so we have to support it. So if I were you, I'd get the Sentai DVD stuff first, and then you have Power Rangers on Netflix, iTunes, etc. everywhere, and then later on get the Power Rangers seasons. Plus they're cheaper, so they're better to get later on.
Yeah, and not to mention that half of the time Kiss Asian doesn't work for Sentai stuff.
Yeah, I think actually Kiss Asian was one of the main reasons why I never watched Q Ranger was because of Kiss Asian. The website is just it buffers all the time. It's full of viruses and stuff, and I can't go on it on my computer because my computer will literally like crash.
Exactly. Like this is why I've also been very behind on Kamen Rider Build because I watched the first 5 episodes and then it would keep lagging and stuff.
Yeah, I remember when I was watching Zyuohger, I was like, I actually almost finished that Sentai. Around episode 39, when Jewel Bird was introduced, the orange guy, every time I watched an episode, midway through it, it would just freeze. And it would play and then freeze again, and then play and freeze again. And I got annoyed and I stopped watching. And then I never watched Zyuohger again.
But the good thing, though, is that we could be seeing Time Ranger this year.
My God, my prayers are being Time Ranger is my most favorite Sentai of all time. I love Time Ranger with every. I think about Time Ranger every day. I don't know if that's weird, but I love Time Ranger. It's one of the best Sentais out there, in my opinion.
One of my favorite Sentais, to be honest, not one of my favorites. My favorite has to be Gokaiger because even though I like stuff, it kind of gave me a general idea of what Super Sentai was and who was everyone. As an 11-year-old kid who only saw I was actually like 9 or 10. As a 9-year-old kid who I'd only heard about Power Rangers in his whole life, it was sort of weird to see, okay, Jason in Japan was an ancient warrior and stuff like that. And especially it was because one of our family friends, she's a lot into anime and stuff. She was the one who introduced me to the fact that, oh yeah, Super Sentai exists.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't find out about it until like I was on Wikipedia and I just saw it out of nowhere. I saw this Japanese stuff. But actually, a cool fun fact was a few years ago, like way before I was back into Power Rangers. When I came from Cuba, like a few months after that, I was watching these. Like this was like YouTube back in like 2008. So imagine it was that time where like you could put a whole movie on YouTube and they wouldn't take it down. And I
Yeah.
remember I was watching this like Batman thing, like this animation with these action figures. Then I saw this like Japanese, like Yellow Ranger, and it's like this some Japanese text, and then there's like the Jungle Fury Yellow Ranger, and I click on it, and it's like this Asian girl, and she just transformed into the Yellow Ranger. I'm like, wait a second, she wasn't Asian in Jungle Fury, and then I'm confused, and then I just watch him speaking Japanese, and it's Geki Ranger. It's basically Geki Ranger footage I'm watching, but I didn't know it was Geki Ranger at the time. And it wasn't until a few years later that I connected the dots. I'm like, holy crap, that was Geki Ranger. That was Japanese Sentai. Like I didn't even know it at the time, and I was watching that.
Speaking of which, in 2010 around there, when the state of Power Rangers really was unknown,
Yeah.
here when people they would grab footage from this unofficial sequel to Gavan and pass it off as Power Rangers. And then people would grab Ranger footage, pass it off as Power Rangers. Ghost Ranger footage, pass it off as Power Rangers. And that's how I slowly started learning about Sentai.
Yeah, I actually feel bad because I didn't get to find out about Sentai until like 2012, way after Gokaiger. It would have been really cool to get into Power Rangers while Gokaiger was airing, and I could have had a chance with Samurai. I was actually there when Samurai premiered. I just didn't like it because I hated the fact they started off with this. I don't know, like at the time I thought, is this the first episode with like the first episode of Samurai? If you remember when they started airing Power Rangers Samurai in 2011, it was
Yeah,
Mike.
they aired the third episode first.
Third episode instead of the Origins episode. I would have been invested in the show if they introduced the characters like right off. But instead they introduced Mike. Like, oh, it's just an episode about Mike. And I'm like, wait, how did they meet? How did they become Rangers? Like, yeah, so it turned me off.
As a sort of special two-parter because of the fact that they screwed up the order.
Oh my god, it's just Nickelodeon. I'm telling you, we gotta make an entire live stream where we like trash talk Nickelodeon because I think they're probably the worst channel that's had Power Rangers so far. They've handled it so terribly.
Yeah, even Disney did better. Even though
Disney did better and they hated it. Disney, that's crazy. That's just the irony.
Yeah, Disney was sort of like that parent who didn't want to have a kid, but they still had to take care of them anyways.
Yeah. Jetix was probably, I mean, I was born when Jetix was around with Power Rangers, so, you know, I feel like Jetix was probably the best time because, you know, the best time that I've been alive. I know Fox Kids, they probably did it 1,000 times better because they had the original seasons. But, you know, at my time, Jetix, in my opinion, is a lot better than Nickelodeon and how they've handled it.
Yeah, and I remember they used to have this marathon called Power Rangers Generations, which I remember as a little kid sitting there because we had this other TV which was like small and it kind of hung from the corner of one room, and I would just sit there watching Power.
Oh yeah, I've seen clips of that on YouTube. I searched up like old commercials.
And someone actually made a video recently of what if Jetix were to air Ninja Steel, where it's like I think it was on Instagram or something, but they edited out to seem like if Jetix was airing Ninja Steel.
Jetix probably would have made Ninja Steel an epic season. They probably would have made it better than Ninja. I don't know. We'll never get to see that, you know.
I used to watch other shows there as well, like King Kong, for example, the '80s show.
Yeah, they had a lot of good TV shows on Jetix.
Yin Yang Yo. I forgot the name of the show. How you pronounce it? Puku, I think it was. It's like this Chinese-looking character. Like, it was designed in. Let me look it up. Actually, oops, hold on. Let me look it up because I remember how the show looked like. So, Jetix shows. Oh, they actually did air Sonic X as well. And apparently they aired Lazy Town. Yeah, it's here. It's here, Puka.
Puka, oh, I remember that. I used to watch that actually with Jungle Fury.
Yeah. But the thing is, for me, like, not even ABC Kids, which is probably even worse than Nickelodeon, because of the fact that whenever I would watch ABC Kids, like, I'm like, yeah, Power Rangers is finally coming on. And then I remember this one part where I got really mad that day because they aired like 2 seconds of the Joke of Fury opening. I'm like, yes, yes, it's finally going to happen. And then they do the same thing as always. They would cut to the Emperor's New Groove.
That doesn't make any sense.
Listen, I love that show and I love that movie, but when it keeps getting in the way of Power Rangers, like, and I read years later that apparently it was something where like they banned it for not being an educational show.
Mm.
Which I'm pretty sure if they were still on ABC Kids, they wouldn't be banned now because Ninja Steel was basically, here's the lesson of the day.
Yeah.
But anyways, to wrap this up, what do you think Hasbro should do with the franchise?
Take care of it. You know, I've seen the stuff they've done. I've seen some people talk about what they've done with Transformers, My Little Pony. I'm not a fan of My Little Pony. I'm not into that stuff, but I've heard that the My Little Pony fans, they get along with Hasbro very well. They don't trash talk Bandai like the way we do. And Hasbro has done some amazing stuff with them, so hopefully they treat us Ranger fans the same way. Like I said, I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm not gonna be working tomorrow. I'm gonna be home all day, so I'm excited to be on Twitter. I'm gonna be reloading it every single 5 seconds to see what they release. Hopefully we get some confirmation for next year's season. We get some cool looking toys. I hopefully we can do more stuff in the future. We can interact with them and give them ideas of our own. And yeah.
Yeah, and I mainly do like office work where I work, like paperwork and stuff. So I could probably like stay tuned as well while I'm working.
Yeah. So I'm very excited,
Yeah. But anyways, I think that's basically it for everything that we had to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. We should meet up again and talk about this stuff. It was really cool talking to you, man. It's always awesome to talk to a Ranger fan that has the same knowledge as me. But we should do it on live stream on Instagram maybe, because it would have been really cool to talk to you more easier, without all that freezing stuff. And yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have to see if we do it tomorrow, depending on what type of news comes out.
Yeah, it depends. I'll let you know. You always text me first when the news come out, but we'll talk about it if anything, and then we'll plan out what we can do.
Yeah. All right, so that's it, and I want to thank everyone who joined the live stream today.
Same here.
And even the people on Instagram as well. And we'll try to get better recording equipment next time, such as like Instagram and stuff.
So I'm not trying to be rude. I love talking to you, but this whole thing really made it kind of annoying because I couldn't interact with you very well because it froze and it kept stopping. It made me look like an airhead because I was like, oh yeah, because it was freezing. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, and apparently now there's like this feature on these Google live streams where you could use your own camera and connect it. I would have to look into that.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, but anyways, that's it for the live stream, guys. I'm JulioCoolio.
And I'm Rangermania.
And we're signing off. Thanks for watching.